What's up, everybody? The Doctor is in. Michael Karate here, being joined, as always, by the lovely Brad Minotaur Masters here for Casa Bunch Online Local Week 18. How you doing today, Brad?
Yo, as you were in flight, I was like, there's no way he's prepared another M thing for today. And you hit me with the Minotaur? I'm on a D&D stream in a couple of weeks. I think you've just decided my race. Sorry to whoever the DM of whatever week I'm back on is. God damn. Also, I was also momentarily shook because you never say your own full name when you do the build-in. You're always like, the Doctor is in, and you ramp straight up towards the what's the M stand for today?
I do plan these, Brad. I don't know how prepared you are. I do think about these things well in advance. Like, and then what'll usually happen is one of us won't be here, and so the thing I come up with that week just goes to waste. But today,
So you're telling me you have like a Google Drive somewhere that's just full of what's the M and Brad M stand for?
I mean, no. Eventually, I'm just gonna buy a dictionary and just keep it open to like the M series, and that way I can just go down the list, and eventually people will catch on. But Bunch put out the schedule today, and I was like, "It's Brad. All right, think of something." And Minotaur was the word of the day.
Yo, and speaking of going down the list, going down this top 8, starting off with Fluxwavez versus Urban Li. Urban Li bringing out the character that everybody's talking about on Twitter this week, because apparently it's time for pardon me, it's time for another hot take about what character is busted, and today it's Seth.
I don't know. Seth is interesting to me because obviously in New England we've had a Seth player since they came out. We've always had at least one, and they've been talking about the character, saying it has its merit. You get that low axe kick. You can do some things with it that you don't necessarily get the option to with other characters. And it took the rest of the world months to catch up to New England once again.
Are you saying that we're the trendsetters? I don't know that I'm comfortable taking that much responsibility for it, but we're gonna have to see. But the strength of the axe kick coming into play right now. See, I see that axe kick. Everyone thinks Makoto, and like, sure, it's Makoto, but in application here, I see a lot of, it makes me think of Adon too, who I resent will probably never make it into this title. We're gonna have to see. Urban out here hitting with the big combo in the corner. Ooh, and kills for 1 bar.
Okay. I didn't think that damage was there, but Urban
Seth's
knew.
got damage though. See, in Street Fighter 4, Seth was a like one-touch kill character, but then there was like 17 mix-ups embedded, and you just kind of got perfected. Apparently in this game, it's like, nah, we'll just let you cash out all the damage. Speaking of cashing out, clapping back, we got 2 bars. We're not gonna build up till super by here.
Yeah, not quite enough. EX heart rate into whip though, always a nice little combination. Caught Urban trying to jump out of the potential throw mix-up, but no, good on Fluxwavez to recognize that he had the opportunity to make a punish there.
Yeah, I mean, that selection of button too is like, it's a little bit longer on startup, so it takes long enough to catch you like fuzzy jumping or delay teching, where you start to see, a couple of weeks ago I started seeing a lot more discourse online where people were talking about the different timings in which people like to delay tech and the different offensive decisions you can make to blow those up. Damn, what a round.
Over. This round is like basically over. Holy moly. Just every time Urban tried to get in, Flux was ready, and there it is. All right then.
Just a straight maulin'.
I mean,
take your Lady Gaga costume ass out of here.
If anybody in the Casa house is gonna be prepared and get those correct reads and long enough to get a perfect, it's gonna be Flux. Guy plays Mika every week at some point in the bracket and always smokes somebody.
And the reality is, I think Fluxwavez is not the most winningest player in Casa, but I feel like Fluxwavez probably has the most finals appearances of anyone that we see at Casa. And that's before factoring in that Fluxwavez was probably in every Grand Blue finals since we ran Grand Blue. Yeah, but like, I mean, even just on Street Fighter, it's probably like for top 3s, I actually, maybe someone in the back is listening and will decide to crunch some numbers for me because that's way too many brackets for me to go through right now, but I am pretty sure if it's not Fluxwavez, I'll be shocked.
So I'm going to let you in on a little secret, Brad, because you missed this staff meeting. Bunch actually has a document with
oh yeah, I did see that. And
Yeah, has all our top
I-
8s and how many people made each one.
Yo, I'm now pulling that back up because I do remember reading that doc, and damn, okay, Fluxwavez is only third. Marvisto at 10 top 8 appearances, Diego at 9. I was speaking to top 3s in my defense.
No,
I
that's
said
fair.
top 3.
Yeah, no, I know you did. I was just, expanding. But no, I mean, it actually is crazy that when you think about Fluxwavez, including his Street Fighter ones, you do see he does have some W's under his belt. He's made top 8, the third most out of any player we've had here at the Casa in the last 18 weeks. And I mean, shout outs to Marvisto. Oh no, drop combo!
No. V-trigger activation, gonna be able to cash out into some real big damage here.
Does have CA. Oh no, I thought I had it. Needs one
Yeah,
more
just
hit.
barely didn't. Sometimes you didn't order hard enough. Oh no, by a pixel. Do we see wake up DP? No, we don't. Some restraint from Urban and a little bit too much restraint. Fluxwavez at set point to go up 3-0.
Fluxwavez is all about punishing that restraint. Urban getting caught once again with the forward aura. It's really tough because Flux has read that every single time and gotten a pretty decent punish out of it. Urban, so we talked about Urban a couple times because Urban's been here before, has played the Seth before, has done okay before. I think he's made like top 16. I think this is one of his first top 8 appearances, however. And it's kind of unfortunate that your first top 8 appearance, you have to play against Flux, who is just a monster when it comes to this character.
Oh damn, she's saying order now. Yeah, I'm looking at that top 8 collection bracket, and yeah, Urban. This is probably Urban's top 8 debut because Urban is not listed on this bracket or on this list of all top 8 appearances, rather. So still gets another shot, obviously losing that winner side top 8, but will drop down to losers where Urban gets to play the winner of, oh, it's already happened. DiegoV beat Metro M off stream. The first round of losers is happening off stream tonight. So Urban drops down to play Diego, and we will get to watch that one. And anytime I get to watch Diego is a treat because you never know what you're gonna get. More often than not, Diego plays, really great. You see, I love the way Diego can really micromanage, whether he's in that like low forward or back strong footsie range to firmly in the fireball range, and like he's never really in between. And seeing in a Seth matchup where there's probably less of that character familiarity, given that Seth is the newest character in the title, is going to be really interesting. But before we get to see that, we will get to see the other half of Winner's Side Top 8 in Marvisto versus Child 233.
So, man, we saw this matchup 2 weeks ago, I think it was. And it was a brawl. Like, it was so back and forth because Child's like the Diego of Balrog, where he just does stuff and it works. The very first week we saw him here was Monkey and I commentating his match, and then we went into the fabled mosh pit, and this guy, Child, hit a 98% overhead success rate. It was just bonkers. And
okay, I remember you were telling me off stream, like before we went on, I was like, I don't know that I remember this name. And you were like, all right, this was it. Now that you're talking about the mosh pit, now I remember. Now I remember the Wild Child.
Because I'm sitting here the whole time, I'm like, V-Trigger 2's better. You get the command grab, you smoke some fools, like it's just better. And then he runs V-Trigger 1 the whole time and, dominates the bracket with it. I think he won that week. I think he won his debut, if I'm remembering correctly. And
Let's find out.
yeah, I was gonna say we do have that
As
Hall of Champions.
one top 8 appearance. So if he did win that week, which let me check. Yeah, let me check the Hall of Champions. I don't recall him winning.
No, it doesn't look like it. Because
Probably, certainly a top 3 or a top 4 because would have made it to the mosh pit.
But anyway, it's just he's such a wild character, and when you compare it to somebody like Marvisto, who plays the Honda and isn't super reserved, but does play Honda the way it's supposed to be played, and can similarly dominate a lot of people and really, frustrate people. It's so much fun watching these two go back and forth and really try and just out bully each other.
Yeah. And not to count, some chickens before they hatch or anything. And I don't want to take any credit away from Child, but let's say Marvisto wins. Fluxwavez Marvisto winners finals again. How many times have we watched that? That's kind of that is potentially the story of the night. Is Fluxwavez Marvisto yet again?
Hey, I mean, when you make top 8 and top 3 every time, you know, it's gonna happen. Like, both of these players are so ridiculously strong, and I would really look forward to that match because I know Flux has busted out both characters in that regard. Marvisto also having 2 characters can play a lot into it. And so him heading into Child, he's gonna play the Honda. I don't think he's gonna play the Ryu at this matchup.
Oh, yeah, no, I would be surprised to see the Ryu. Ryu never been particularly strong in this title, other than I suppose it was like maybe a brief period of time in season 1. But like kind of struggles with what a lot of the zoning characters struggle with in this game, which is just that, you know, when you get in, you bleed, and the damage that you deal out as a zoner is not always high enough to offset what you lose when they finally do get in. And how oppressive the looping set play is, even for stuff that isn't real set play. Just like being in the pocket is threatening enough.
Yeah, which is,
and like Honda will murder you. Like Honda deals out some damage.
oh yeah, and especially when you can just armor headbutt through your fireball and then set up this crazy mix-up that you have to guess, and if he gets wrong, the mix-up continues. Or even if he's feeling spicy, he just butt slams you from, you know, basically a full screen away, and you're like, oh, I kind of forgot that this was Street Fighter 5, and he's allowed to do that.
Well, and then even to take it a step further and start to think about that particular character matchup, one of the things that I like that people do against Boxer a lot is the thing that you worry about is if you try to play a conventional game of footsies, dash punch controls so much of the screen that you deal with that threat there. So what you often see instead is that people go to the neutral jump when they're worried about the dash straight. And Honda in neutral jump can still better control space because he has the ability to alter that air momentum on his neutral jumps with the palms. So it's already something that you see a lot from a Honda who's playing defensively, and now it's playing into the fact that it is a positive thing to do in the particular matchup. I'm going to be curious to see how it ends up playing out and what the story of that matchup ends up looking like.
Yeah, and so right now,
let alone the fact that Boxer doesn't have a real reversal.
Or a cross-up. Shoutouts to Monkey. Right now, we are just waiting on Marvisto. All of the Long Island guys are at Diego's house, so I believe they're all sharing the same account as we see DiegoV PC join in.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I was talking about, we didn't get to talk about it, but the other half of Losers Top 8, the first round that was played off stream, has just concluded. And it was the third of the Long Island trio in Moons, who unfortunately lost out to ItachisLegacy. So ItachisLegacy will be playing the loser of this match. So could end up... There's a story here as well where if Marvisto loses, ItachisLegacy has to eliminate 2 of the 3 Long Island players and then play the winner of Urban and Diego. So
potentially get the third Long Island.
ItachisLegacy may have to OCV Team LI in tonight's bracket. That is a story that we might have to see.
Or the other storyline there is that we got Marvisto versus Diego, and they have to like rock, paper, scissors to see who gets the PlayStation and who gets the PS4.
Yeah, that's the second bunch was like, yeah, they're all playing on the same setup. I was like, all right, cool. So what happens when we get to top 8 and they play each other?
We parsec in and local view the match. That's the play.
Yeah, I have an hour to get that set up, don't you?
No, not particularly. It's already.
Yeah. Shoutouts to Parsec though. Shoutouts to Parsec.
We need our good buddy Dom the streamer to go back to the queue so that we can get Child versus Diego. But no, I mean, I think that the 2 storylines that we've already outlined, we either have the LI grudge match or ItachisLegacy OCVing Team LI, which I mean, I think that would be actually pretty bonkers because when you think about it, he had to go through Moons, the Cody player. He has to go through the loser of this, which could potentially be Marvisto, the Honda Ryu player, and then potentially has to play the other Shoto in Ken. So not only is he playing 3 really strong players, but he's playing 3 completely separate character styles.
Well, we're gonna have to see which of these stories ends up playing out as we once again are just waiting for Dom to jump to the back of the queue. I imagine there's some producer reason in the back as to why there's a delay. So the fact that I'm even calling attention to it is technically an expose.
It's technically uncouth of you, yes, even though I did it
Yeah.
first.
Well, that's the only reason why I was vamping and you were like, production.
Hello?
It's fine. We've been at this 18 weeks. We're afforded a little bit of, oh, see, now why didn't we think of that? Any single person could have just readied up and sent his ass to the back of the queue. So
No, he went to back of queue. I pinged him in Discord. We're good. But
it's
no,
fine.
I mean,
Dom's been streaming for us for 18 weeks, and Dom we obviously have known Dom for even longer because he works at BP, so we knew him back at the locals. So just a little bit of blow up.
he knows
Oh,
what's
was
going
just
on.
making sure it's Marvisto. I see.
Wait, what? What was the other option?
Well, maybe he like had forgotten or was unaware that there are 3 people using this account today because it is Diego's account.
That's true. They just need to make it an actual LAN party and just say, you know, screw your bandwidth limit. We're just gonna run 3 PC setups.
I miss LAN parties, man. Back in high school, we used to have Halo 3 LANs at my buddy's house.
I don't want to say it's before my time, but like, I had an Xbox, so my buddy and I just played couch co-op.
Yeah, no, we used to. I can tell the story in between games because this is going to be more important. Clip with the crush counter, but still making our way forward. Nice with punish with the hands, but Child, okay, we're starting to see some of those dash punches like you were talking about. He is running V trigger 2 today.
He ran it last week too, and he actually smoked people with that command grab. You were probably going to see it coming up soon too. Yep, there it is. Needs one more for the stun.
Ooh, commits to the dash low, doesn't get it. And there's that neutral jump palms, exactly like I was talking about.
Yeah, really kind of controls the air in a really different wet style. You know, not a lot of characters in this game do have that opportunity. And it's really interesting in fireball matchups too. Oh, not enough.
We still have the V trigger. Damn, the aggressive double dash. Diego, or Marvisto rather, I looked up to the CFN name and just autopiloted. Marvisto usually plays really patient, but you see when he gets aggressive, it's like mid to full screen, dashing all the way up on you, and then he grabs you. And the fact that Child was prepared to challenge that dash is so telling, because you don't commonly see that from Marvisto's opponents when he pulls that out.
You know what I just realized? Not only is he running Trigger 2, he's running Skill 2, which gives you that extra little oomph on your dash punch and can, you know, open up some different combo situations. Oh, no. Oh, all right.
Oh, he gets the block in time. The full charge, and he lands on it. That's a good trade for Diego. And even the chip damage here is going nicely for him, but another grab will kill here for Child.
And just the normal grab on the dash up gonna work out and take game 1 in favor of Child. All right, that was a pretty clean game from Child. You know, we're seeing some different things from him. He's really utilizing that command grab still. Really, I don't know, because Marvisto didn't really headbutt a lot.
Yeah, I imagine like headbutt on block in this matchup, maybe you don't want to do it. Depending on, I don't know off the top of my head how negative it is because I've not studied his frame data, but if Boxer has charge, I wonder if he can even do like a dash straight and punish it on block. Probably not, because I know headbutt is probably kind of largely safe, but I don't know. Hopefully someone will correct me. I know Monkey is always ready with the frame data because he's a goddamn encyclopedia.
Yeah, he's pretty good at numbers. He's always on call too. You know, he's always in the chat, stream monstering, making sure we're up to date on our numbers and arithmetic. But man, these
light headbutt is -4, says Jocks in the chat. Okay, thank you. I was opening FAT on the side to find out for myself.
This is so grindy from both sides. You know, it's not often we see either of these players take a round to 50 seconds, and we're going well past that this round. But both sides have trigger activated. Gotta be aware that command grab acting like you won't get scooped.
It's been consistent too. Child hasn't whiffed one of those command grabs yet, but finally a command grab answer back from Diego, spending the bar to win out the round. And that's going to be an important thing to come out. We've even seen the towards roundhouse, the common Kara throw tool. Every time so far, he's gone into hands with it. So we're going to have to see if going to throw is going to be the thing. Damn, charging the overheads.
Oh, all right. Weird little stuff there on the head, but big crush counter gets turned into a target combo, though. I don't think Marvisto was kind of prepared for the down tech buttons there.
What's kind of proving difficult here is when Diego backs off, he's giving Child the opportunity to charge that B skill too, and it means when Child gets the hit, he's able to cash out into real big damage, and we're not seeing Diego able to output that same damage. He's backing off. Like, commonly we see him able to cash out damage on his own V skill charges, but he's actively backing up, and then Child is charging, and then Diego's worried about like a charge dash punch to punish him. So I feel like he needs to be a little bit more active in how he's controlling the matchup.
Yeah, it's tough because Marvisto is also playing a charge character, so he kind of has to do the same thing Child's doing to get the same stuff. But it just seems the Child's getting more off of the situations that are identical for each player, and the damage just isn't coming Marvisto's way.
Well, that's kind of the difficulty, right? Like I was alluding to the character matchup. The reality is Honda is more defensive than boxing. So he's trying to play that, like he's backing off, giving just a little bit of space. Full screen dash low here from Child, trying to cash it out. Still has the V-Trigger 2 activation, but the headbutt takes it. One game up for Diego. Yeah, so like I was saying, like Honda is a little bit more defensive, but in being defensive like that, first of all, in order to gain the space to feel safe against Boxer, you have to surrender a little bit more space than you otherwise might, and it's affording Child the opportunity to set up.
Okay.
So I wonder whether we're going to see a V skill or a V trigger change here for Child.
I'm going to assume it's going to be a skill change, because the triggers worked for him in the past. It's worked for him so far this set. The skill's really the only thing that could be improved, but it's still working, right? Like we were saying, like he's able to activate the skill because Marvisto's playing so defensive, and then because it's active, he's getting new combo routes active available to him, and then he's getting more damage because of it. So like even then, the skill trigger combo is working in Child's favor. Maybe not that game in particular, but like game one was kind of a wash. Like it was just a 2-0 Child with that same trigger skill combo.
Yeah, and like that, even that game just then, it was just the defensive headbutt that ended up really taking it. Like he didn't read the reversal. Yeah, we are seeing the V skill change to V skill 1. So we're gonna see a more mix-up heavy thing, I suppose, because we're gonna be seeing, trying to go for those V skills to go in, and obviously overhead low, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the overhead gameplay from Child is pretty masterful. Like, we keep talking about how he has these super high rates, but like, you have to also think about what type of fear that puts in your opponent, right? Like, you have to always be constantly worrying about these overheads, and then all of a sudden he scoops your back ankle, dashing forward, and it's a 50-50 in its own right, that while it's reactable, you still need to actually react to it.
And also what we're seeing here is the way the Child is using it. He's using it to get in very quickly from really far ranges. I think the goal here is to force Diego to slow down a little bit, even at those far ranges. It's like, all right, I was getting the installs, but it wasn't getting me in per se. Now I want to get in.
That was a nice little punish on the whip overhead too. It's not something we've seen before from Marvisto, who has played this exact matchup before here at the Casa. And there we go, get a little twirl into low.
Oh no, blocks the overhead, does Marvisto, but still clipped by the crush counter. Blocks the overhead again, but has V-trigger activation. Shimmy, no bite, a little bit too far away.
He's dead. I like command grabs. I'm a big fan of command grabs.
Yeah, and this is a much better implementation of it. It was his Ultra 2 in Street Fighter 4, and it was just like, why?
Why have a command grab super?
I mean, it was different in 4, obviously, because the system kind of afforded for it a little better. But like, you could option select it and stuff there. Right, playing real slow, but just like that, the way Child is using it to get in from full screen, but it's like, I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me. Diego is still capitalizing on all of these things and using the hands so aggressively now, but the target combo into activation, full CA on deck for Child.
Does have half his trigger gone, has one more command grab to let it rock, but he backs off instead of trying to be overly aggressive. Spends the EX rush punch as well. Okay, I guess he's more worried about pressure instead of just straight up killing or even potentially chip kill, because that is completely off the table now. And why did Child jump?
I'm not rightly sure. I think what you saw there was like Marvisto cashed out his ability to V-trigger in that game in order to not have to deal with the command grab mix or any mix really, which was wise. I ended up working out for him. I honestly couldn't tell you what Child's goal was there in jumping. Perhaps he wanted to, like, maybe if he thought there was going to be, here's what it was. It was going to be, he was reading a butt slam to get out of the corner and swap sides, and he was preemptively jumping to, no, maybe not.
It was a back jump, but so like your idea has merit. I'm wondering if maybe he was trying to dodge headbutt to punish that. Because like if you back jump a short headbutt, then you get a big punish. Whereas, as we saw, you just died a butt slam. So I guess it was just like the butt slam headbutt read, and he took an L. So Marvisto's kind of getting oppressed.
Oh, twice now we see dash in, dash out shimmies here from Child. We've seen something about the hitbox interaction with Honda. He's had a couple of shimmies not work out. Even there, the lean back of the headbutt in V-trigger, causing the throw to whiff.
He has full CA available.
Oh! The clench was real. The whiff throw with no punish. Child had 2 bars, could have cashed out into something big potentially, but Marvisto gets to go into potentially the last round. This is set point with full bar.
And it's not looking good so far. He spent 1, but he'll build that back. That's the whole point of the bars themselves, is to build up. Is now back on the foot again, but he's worked here from both. He has worked it from here before. No, it still doesn't really sound like English. I don't really know what I'm going for, Brad. I just don't. He is full CA again. Let's go with that.
Ooh, cashing out 1 with the throw. That's only the...
Oh,
wake up, CA! He's alive? Yes. The Reversal doesn't want to deal with even V-trigger activation from Child because he knows he's going to have to eat the mix, and that's going to be bad. And so... Child had spent, since he switched to V-Skill 1, his primary neutral tool had been going to that V-Skill 1 in order to get in. And he knows as soon as Child back jumped, he was signaling like, I'm trying to get in off of this so that I can activate and kill you off the mix. And Marvisto is exactly experienced enough to know that that's coming. Challenges with the crouching jab into EX hands, and we get to see Marvisto Fluxwavez winners finals yet again.
Child's done some work from the loser bracket, though. He's gone down to that basement before. He does have to play up against ItachisLegacy, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing either. You know, he does get to play the winner of Urban, Diego, as well. And it is last chance for everybody involved there. But Child has made this losers run before, has gone pretty deep, and I think this is one of the latest he's actually gone down to that lower bracket as well. You know, he's typically gone down and made, you know, a long run backwards. So we're gonna have to wait and see how that goes. Our next matchup is going to be My Bad, says David Bunch. So I don't know what.
You know what it was? The set was so good that he couldn't update the queue. It was like, if I tear my eyes away from this slugfest, then we're gonna miss out. And that is worth this. And obviously it does give us the opportunity to remind you to go over to the Matcherino, use Casa SFV 13 to contribute that free 50 cents. There's also the sponsor quests and stuff up there. Make sure you share it. We appreciate all of the support from y'all. Obviously, Ronin Rumble as well has been a community partner of ours, and they are running the Grand Blue tournaments as well as, frankly, everything under the sun. And you know that you're watching Next Level every week. You know you're watching Team Spooky. I don't know that we got to tell you to tune into that stuff. Zaffarino winning. It wasn't this week. It was last week, right? Was it this week or last week?
Last week.
It's about damn time.
Listen, I'm not gonna say New England's on the come up, but
yo, you're not gonna say that because every time one of us says that, New England gets humbled hard. So now that you've said it,
well,
we're
so
getting
the
humbled.
problem, Brad, my problem with your statement there is because a lot of the times people say New England's on the come up, it's before we've won something, right? Like it's the pre-game shit talk in that we say, yeah, New England's pretty clean, we're pretty good, and then we go to the event and get smoked. Whereas now we've actually won it. Like Zaf's already done the W. He's put in the hard work for the scene. He's claimed that title. So now, yeah, now we're allowed to talk a little shit. Granted,
All right.
you know, I didn't do anything, but
take your pick of This Ain't My First Rodeo Cowboy or the First Time James Franco GIF. Because this is not the first time. I've been involved in New England fighting games a little bit longer than you, and Zaf ain't the first person to put up some nice W's and to be like, man, New England is on it. And then here we are. But Zaf is probably my favorite of the people that I know who've done that so far. And obviously Zaf deserves all the success. He's put in so much work
on that stream.
I think the only reason that he doesn't show up to these is because he works Friday nights. And even if that's not the reason, I'm going to insist that that's why, because I'm disappointed to not see him around more.
I mean, yeah, I thought that was the thing, is he is currently working he's in the medical field too, right? Like he's actually like on the front lines with this stuff. I don't know exactly what he does, but that's what I think he does.
Yeah, I don't rightly know, but I do know what.
It is nice when he comes through, though. It's always a nice little surprise.
Yeah. So we are going to be jumping down into our losers side. These will be 5th place matches, and we have Urban in here, which means we are going to be seeing Urban versus Diego. So I'm sure the LI people are just going about, setting up the whole thing because they're obviously all sharing that account. So they're going to sit down and be like, all right, Diego, let's make sure we put the right Ken collar on. You got to make sure people know you're the Joker.
Scene yet, though. That's character select is once they join the lobby. I don't know why they left. Like Diego's account was already in here. Like, do they just have to hot swap the sticks, or they hand in the sticks around? Like,
maybe that's a good question. Maybe there's a whole thing. Maybe they got to get up and get more beers.
I was gonna say they gotta do more shots.
Every time I get a W, shot. Every time I take a L, shot. Tech a throw, shot. Get thrown, shot.
Jesus. All right.
You trying to die? I'm trying to die.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't realize the healthcare down in LI was that amazing that you can take a shot every time you get thrown. I don't have that type of medical care up here, Brad.
Yo, they have fully socialized the setup.
Listen, when I played earlier tonight, if I had taken a shot every time I got thrown, I would have been like 6 shots in game 1. Like, yo, I would have been toast.
They got the right idea though, man. The LI players, they decided to seize the means of the mix-up. The proletaria.
You know what? You know what I'm thinking about is shout out to their power company, because I know that there are still people on Long Island without power after the storm that came through earlier the week.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if they're running the tournament on a generator or if they actually have power, but shout outs to whoever's keeping the lights on there.
I feel like my proletariat pun was underappreciated.
Yeah, because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh damn, that was too politically woke. Okay.
Seizing the means of production.
I'll start hitting you guys with the Schoolhouse Rock puns instead.
Which is that?
No,
the one
nothing
with Jack
on that
Black?
either.
Is that the one with Jack Black?
No, that's you are bullshitting me right now.
Is that the one with the singing Constitution?
That's the one.
That is definitely before my time. I am sorry to inform you, Brad, but I've never seen any of that.
If there were cameras on me, you would see my look of distaste. We miss out so much by not having cameras. I can't, no one can appreciate how much I would be grilling you right now, IRL. Instead, I'm just going to remind everyone that you don't like Lemillion and move on with that. because I
Alright,
feel
well,
like
so
that just wins my
times-
argument for me.
Times have changed, Brad. The character itself is fine. I enjoy Lemillion's character. I just think he has rocks for brains.
There is once again a look that cannot be communicated by my snapshot on Dom's stream.
I don't. I think that one is pretty good because I am that much taller than you that you're definitely looking up at me with just this face of just like awestruck disgust, and you're just like, did this guy really just say that?
My default expression is, will somebody take this man back to League of Legends, where trash takes are balanced decisions?
Oh man. No, I'm a Valorant caster now. I haven't cast League of Legends in like 4 days.
I still have not played that game, and I don't necessarily feel like I'm missing out just yet. But give it a little while, and it'll become my flavor of the week when everyone else is already tired of it. Historically, with team games, I start playing it 2 weeks before it dies.
Well, good news is because it's backed by Riot, it will technically never die in like a necromancy type way. You know, when you just keep throwing money at it, it'll never go down.
Where do you think Riot's phylactery is?
Their phylactery?
Okay. I need to remember what type of nerd I'm dealing with. So a phylactery, in fantasy terms, commonly attributed with things like D&D, is the vessel wherein a necromancer stores their soul to become immortal.
All right, so
Think of it like a Horcrux.
I was gonna say like a Horcrux because that was what it sounded like, and I can't tell.
It's a Horcrux.
All right, yeah. So Riot's Horcrux, that's a toughie because there's definitely multiple, and they definitely have like a Voldemort situation where they've definitely sacrificed enough human beings.
So the first thing they've done, all right. So if they're Voldemort, one of the pieces of Riot's soul, 100%. In the StarCraft 2 World Championship trophy, because they had to dethrone StarCraft to become the world's top esport when they did.
To be fair, StarCraft dethroned themselves. Like Blizzard just ate that IP up and just
but then League was there for it.
Yeah, I mean,
what else?
Capitalizing. So definitely the Riot sign at the office is one. I bet Faker in like some sort of Harry Potter world is also a Horcrux because he is the unkillable Demon King still to this day. So there's definitely.
Wait, so are you suggesting Faker is the boy who got fed?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. He's not even playing right now. He got benched. So, listen, League of Legends is in a weird spot right now.
I just remember
they're probably gonna have a crowd at that show in China. Now that I think about it.
That's kind of wild.
Man, imagine living in a world post-COVID. It's almost like it's unheard of.
Look, don't get me started. We're still waiting
on Diego.
we are medically very current COVID and socially very pre-COVID.
We're like,
because I think a lot of people still haven't accepted that, you know, it exists. Oh, I mean, yeah, we're like, I mean, there's people out here being like, a mumps vaccine isn't necessary. How bad can polio be, really? It was like, you know, you only ask that question because we don't have it anymore because medical science removed it, right? But okay, Karen.
Listen, Brad, are you telling me science is real? Next, you're gonna tell me birds are real.
I mean, you ain't ever looked outside and seen those feather things flying?
Those are government drones, Brad.
No, the government drones are way higher up, and if you can hear or see them, you're already dead.
Yeah, but like, that's what they want you to think. Because if the birds are the government drone, think about how much footage they're getting, Brad. Like, you ever go to the park and you just see like 40 million pigeons? Like, every single one of those is a video audio device. Like, you can't get away with anything as long as there's birds around. How do you think they catch everybody?
All right, you've convinced me. Let me go and tweet from my iPhone that I don't want the government to surveil me from their birds anymore.
You have to explicitly say, "Dear Mr. Government, I do not consent to your bird watching.
My favorite is still the people that are like, Bill Gates wants to put a microchip in me with the COVID vaccine and I won't let it happen. Sent from iPhone. Like, if people want to know where you are, they can find out. Or do you not think the NSA is real? I feel like we are harping way too much on how awful the socio-political and cultural issues are going on right now with respect to COVID, while we wait for Diego to finish drinking whatever the hell they handed him from his fridge so he can get back in here and beat Urban.
Man, that's actually a good question. What is happening in that LI house? Well, actually, hold on. What's the bracket? Are they playing a different? No,
No, it's Diego and Urban.
Playing. Because the only one left using that account would be Marvisto, and they're not going to play Marvisto Flux off stream. You know, typically by now, Bunch will have come in and like stated something about our conversation.
I think he's kind of just letting us get ourselves on an FBI watch list.
I mean, all right, good.
Right, there we are.
we can end that conversation. If you have not already, folks, definitely follow the !Matcherino link in the chat. Both of them are still available. Our Grand Blue versus one. The tournament might be over, but the Matcherino is still valid. The Street Fighter one, obviously, still ongoing, so make sure to click onto that and use the code Casa SFV 12 or 13 and Casa GBVS. I'm going to assume also 13, but
on that I am not sure. But what I will say is also make sure you follow Dammit Dom. He streams on his own as well as streaming all of these Casa events in some capacity. If it's not him on the top 8, you know he's there some point earlier in the night if it's not KO. And I promise you, we aren't always talking about what we're talking about tonight.
So shout outs to Emmy with the 13 ! Giving me the code number. Man, our social team is OD. Like, they are all over the place, always keeping us up to date with information, always tweeting all hours of the day. I don't think they sleep. Is that a part of being a social media manager, is just not sleeping?
I mean, you see how quick social media can happen? Like, you're not allowed to sleep. So
no,
we are seeing Urban and Diego. Diego, like I was talking about, you see Fireball game, and then the second it's not the Fireball game, it's like, all right, I'm in. And like, he's so great at switching between those speeds.
I was gonna make this hot take earlier, but I decided to wait until we actually got into a Diego match. I think Diego has the best Fireball game in all of Casa.
I can't think of a person who regularly enters Casa that would make me disagree with you. If he's not the best, he's probably top 3. I think that's perfectly valid.
That was an unfortunate EXDP, and you can see the pain in Ken's face when he just threw that hook. He's like, man, I'm feeling this one for you, but I really don't care.
Ooh, there's that time it working out though for Urban.
Yeah, I feel like this isn't a good Seth matchup because we're seeing Diego play outside the standard range that Urban's trying to flow through. And what we saw earlier in the match against Fluxwavez is when Urban's out of range, he goes for that forward aura and then just gets jumped over and punished. And he hit! It connected!
So what's kind of the issue here in part is like to deal with the Fireball game, you have, is that going to kill on chip? No, has the V reversal. But then eats the Fireball. So what I was going to say is like, you've got the axe kick as an air option for you to either go over the fireballs and get a hit, or just to use as another tool to vary your air movement. The issue being Ken has a DP. It's hard to time the jump such that you can punish the fireball. You really need to do it preemptively. And a big part of why Diego's fireball game is so good is because he very commonly is throwing the fireballs in the right moments, and the second you want to jump, he's ready with the anti-air. So it's difficult, and Seth doesn't have a lot of life to be trading on that stuff.
So I'm curious, could you instant air axe kick to try and bait a DP and actually get a punish? All right, that's how it works. All right, cool.
I mean, that's actually, yeah, that's another tool that should be in the rotation too when you stand at those ranges. Oh no, but the jump over.
Still has that ability charged up. Wonder when we're gonna get to use it. The answer's not yet.
Yeah, I imagine probably as combo filler at some point.
But now you have to be like familiar with how it interacts with your own combo, and with activation coming out from Diego, definitely not much left for Urban to do in this round. He's gonna have to continue to grind it out here. Good start there. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, so we saw that one working out a little bit better. We saw the axe kick in the rotation a little bit, which was important, and it helped him stand at the range where his low forward and his standing strong or standing fierce. I'm not positive of the move, but it's in a range where it can be a threat now. But that's the problem, is you go to it, and if Diego knows to watch for it, you start to see he goes backdash, and instead of starting the fireball game, he's waiting for the anti-airs.
And he gets the counter jump in and just deletes that health bar. So tough when Seth has, like you said, not that much HP. Definitely could have gotten more out of that interaction there for Urban.
And there we're starting to see Diego, like after backdashing there, maybe only a few fireballs, maybe half time now.
And it's not something we haven't seen from Diego before. You know, he's well versed in the counter fireball game. We've seen him play very varied matchups, like last week against why can't I think of his name? The Sakura player. Holy moly.
Oh, Space Boy.
Space Boy. I knew it was boy something, but I wanted to say like Schoolboy. But
well, that's the thing, is you were talking about that Diego has a great fireball game, but I feel like the most important part of having a good fireball game is knowing when not to fireball.
Yeah, like you need to know when your other tools are the more effective usage, and it plays into that whole giant mind game of Street Fighter. We to get another install, but we didn't really see it used last time this happened. You know, it wasn't really given the opportunity.
Okay, using standing medium kick that time to try to keep him grounded.
Tried to meaty the fireball, I think, but it looked like it was the delay rise. Kind of messed up the timing there.
Ooh, the autocorrect DP. And now we see his ground game is so good. The way that he's dashing around all the time. Cashing out with the V skill. Has the super, cashing that out as well. Hitting him with the tandem engine.
Didn't need the trigger damage either. Was able to just get it with the raw super. And takes the game too. So that's 1-1 now between these two. After game one, I was a little concerned for Urban because Diego seemed to have a really good read on it. But, I mean, that game two is definitely a lot grindier, I guess would be the word I would use. That.
I mean, I think the biggest thing was, you know, bringing in that axe kick a little bit to give Diego. We saw some of the anti-airs, but, you know, we talk about it comparatively commonly here. One of the things about playing a zoning game like that is even if you hit with the anti-airs, the reward you get off of guessing right once and getting in outweighs 2, 3, sometimes even 4 anti-airs, depending on the anti-air. Now, obviously, Ken can, you know, cash out with some meter and, you know, hit you with the EXDP, or you can have like DP activate and stuff like that. But it's just you get so much damage, and the fact that you can then follow that up with further pressure and you're just in that perfect range is part of it. And then on top of that as well, Urban was just able finally to find that pocket where the standing medium kick and the crouching medium kick were really working in his favor to try to slow Diego down. Even so, it was still a slugfest. But you're not commonly going to see a game with Diego in it that doesn't have some sluggery going on.
I mean, unless he's just hitting all his shots and it just looks super one-sided, yeah, Diego's ready to brawl. And so I'm curious what the lobby move was for. I typically, yeah, as I said, we're not going to see any changes come out from Diego. He's always played Ken, trigger 1, skill 1. So must have just been a breather, mental reset, swap sides, and I guess we're going to have to see what the Diego change came out to be. That's a misinput.
Yeah, a little bit of overcommitment there from Urban, unfortunately, but okay, nice hit confirm. Just like that, we're in the corner. Oh no, doesn't confirm off the low jab, and just like that, the back throw from Urban stealing him a little bit of space, but you're still in there. Oh, okay.
Nope, no longer in there. Just kind of, I don't know. really rough round there for Urban. I don't know if they were actually trying to push buttons or if they just weren't ready, but Diego obviously going to capitalize on all of those situations. You really can't give him an inch because he will take a mile every single time.
Yeah, I mean, that neutral jump setup in the corner there that we saw that Diego won out with is like a pretty old, like, delay tech option, like to beat delay techs and such like that. So probably caught him out that way. I mean, it was a pretty good Ken round, right? Like, you get him in the corner and the throw game is just really strong. It's been Ken's kind of dominant strategy for a while. Like, that's how you played Ken in Season 1 and Season 2.
Stun's been an issue for basically this whole round for Urban, but with the activation, things are quickly turned around. Forward throw only needs one more. Oh, that was the longest overhead I've ever seen. Holy moly.
He drew a whole ass graph of how he was going to take that round from you. Ooh, that's unfortunate. The neutral jump there not working out. I have to assume it was some sort of dropped input or something. Gets the DP off of the standing medium kick, though.
Look at how much more
damage.
Look how much more damage Diego's does comparably, though. Like, he's landed 2 DPs and it's essentially done like 50% HP onto Urban.
Ooh, walking down behind that stand jab, and now we see the pseudo throw loops activation here from Urban. Ooh, Diego taking that second game. It was really just the 2 rounds Diego won were really just kind of a question of, I mean, that round was DPs on DPs and a hell of a slugfest. But like, it was really get in the corner and play Ken's game.
I think one of the bigger things there too was that because of Urban using the spin kick to dodge the fireball game and, you know, try and get some counter hits and things in, that has worked. The adaptation we saw just at the end of that round was Diego did nothing, waited for Urban to start up the spin, and then was actually able to jab it out. And he's been punished for that before, so it's smart that he's still trying to go for it instead of just being like, this didn't work before, it doesn't work, I'm not going to do it again, because it does work. It's just you need to time it a little bit better.
In the time it took for you to explain the mentality of that adjustment, Urban got wholesale perfected. Everything must go. 2 for the price of none. And we're seeing another strong opening straight to the P1 side corner once again. And Diego's fireball game starting, finally finding a little bit of purchase there. Is that spin kick, but the autocorrect DP.
That was quite possibly the deepest crosscut DP I've ever seen. Like, that thing was basically over. I don't know if that was a misinput again from Urban, who might not be quite ready for some of these.
Oh no, the fireball saves him. And is that an anti-air? No, it doesn't connect. Overcommitment.
And that's gonna do it. That'll be Diego. 3-1 over Urban here in the basement bracket. Just some really dirty spaghetti coming out from Urban there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to end up feeling that way, especially with how crazy, like, you get perfected like you did in that first round, you get mentally guard broken. Like, the mental fortitude, especially this deep in a bracket, you're now in the loser side, you don't want to lose out, you're just outside of top 3, and you get clapped like that in what's been, up until that point, a close set. You kind of start to get a little antsy. And that's what you kind of see, right? Because, like, we followed that up with a crazy slugfest of a round. And that's what I think one of the things about Diego is Diego will meet the energy that you give to him.
So, and he'll probably try and one-up you, too. Like, he will not be unaware of just throwing your own energy right back at you and trying to double it.
Yeah, so what we saw was that, like, we had that moment, like, right after that kind of mental guard break where it was crazy, sluggish DPs on DPs and complete disrespect. And then what did we see at the end to clean it out there? Diego backing off and playing a whole fireball game, like the most aggressive fireball game that he had played so far in the set. We didn't see those long gaps. We didn't see dash out, fireball, dash back in, or dash out, wait. It was 2, 3, 4 fireballs in a row because he knew at that point that his opponent did not have the kind of mental wherewithal in that moment to switch gears in that moment and go back to watching for fireballs and trying to bring back in the axe kick or the V skill.
Actually, that's true. We didn't see axe kick at all in game.
Right, because that was not the story of that last game until those last 15 seconds or so. Diego switched gears. I was like, you remember this old number? Yeah, I'm hitting you with the classic. This is a deep cut. It's hitting you all the way back from game 1.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That's
so
painful.
Yeah, so Diego ends up moving on. Urban moves out with 5th place. And Diego in the losers semis will be playing the winner of Child 233 and Itachi's Legacy.
So remind me, Brad, who does Itachi play? Because I want to say it's Dictator.
I do not myself remember either.
God damn it.
So
Brad, I was relying on you to know the answer because
looks like Ibuki.
I don't go
Ibuki, or Wando in the chat is confirming it is Ibuki. Thank you for clarifying that for us, as both of us have not done our homework despite watching the stream all night. So you can expose us a little bit.
I was gonna say I don't really go by these character portraits here in lobby because so many times it's been wrong for us, and then we get into game and we'll spend 5 minutes talking about X matchup, and then we get into game and it's not X matchup, it's suddenly Z, and we're like, oh well, all right then. There goes the 5-minute lead up time. But no, Ibuki versus Balrog. Yeah, that's a toughie.
It'll be, I mean, Ibuki with the EX Kunai obviously gets to really kind of dominate the screen a little bit. She has a real reversal to deal with a lot of his stuff. She's got some air momentum or air mobility to be a little bit trickier. And then obviously we've got her V trigger is, a little bit more explosive in the sense that it lends itself to, dirtier mix-ups. Obviously, we really attribute Boxer's V triggers with being explosive because they cash out into huge damage. But Ibuki's is kind of the big comeback one. Like Boxer's mix-ups in V trigger are a little bit more straightforward and conventional. You see the wild set play out of Ibuki. We also see the wild colors on this costume. Okay, that was just an artifact of the load-in screen. How shiny it was. I was like, what is this girl wearing some pleather right now? But no.
I was looking pretty pleathery on my screen, Brad. But I mean, this is damn. He hit the slide and still got punished. That's unfortunate. But I think one thing to note that's actually pretty super useful about this Ibuki trigger is that because of how quickly you get it, especially in this style of matchup, it's not uncommon to get 2 activations.
Oh, that was so smart, but still needs one more hit because the damage cash out. But what I was going to say is in that situation, it's super tough for ItachisLegacy Legacy because that's kind of like you would kind of run out of steam at that point after that jump in combo. Ooh, and the neutral jump landing on the child de facto movement option of the full screen B skill.
Nice little punch there. Does still need to keep guessing, however.
To give ItachisLegacy Legacy some credit, what we're seeing is he is not scared to challenge dash straights with low strong into EX Kunai. It's just so far, he's been a little bit too early every time. Blocks the overhead.
Now he's dead.
It's gonna go for the mix.
Now he's dead.
I was gonna say, I'm not positive if there's like a damage route with that V trigger where you can cash out, but when in doubt, hit him with the left, right.
Left, right, good night, says Itachi. And I think this is actually the matchup that we saw the first time Child came out, and he actually ended up winning. I know he beat N Ibuki. I don't know if it was this Ibuki. And we saw him really able to play around that EX Kunai. But the way Itachi is playing right now is he is not giving Child an opportunity to breathe. He was punishing all of these dash punches, and the round is not followed that at all, and now he's just getting exploded.
I mean, this is kind of looking like the adjustment. What we saw here from Child was that he backed off. It was like, all right, when I went in and tried to run my game, ItachisLegacy Legacy was blowing up my pokes and whiff punishing and starting the offense that way. But when I was dash punching, I was blowing up all of his buttons. So what we were seeing there instead is screw the neutral game. I'm just going to smack you from full screen. And now it's opened that up, and you see ItachisLegacy Legacy with that reversal DP. Obviously feels as though needs a little bit of breathing room, but just like that, everything changes. Low forward hit confirm. What's the mix? Blocks the left right that time, but doesn't block the frame traps.
Does have one bar meter for the EX Kunai opportunity. Might not even get it. Activation. I don't think he's dead. There was not enough left to cash out, but the shimmy coming on through with the whiff punish. That's Child quickly tying it up 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, so much of this for ItachisLegacy kind of lives and dies by how effective your utilization of your V-trigger is. If Child blocks the mix-ups, like, you really need, it's looking like so far, up until V-trigger, Child has complete control. It's, you know, the buttons are more explosive. ItachisLegacy hasn't found the spot or the buttons on the screen to challenge that forward momentum very much. And it's really just errant hit into V-trigger and just kill off of that. That's kind of been what these first two games look like.
Getting a nice little crush counter here in the corner, though. That's a good start. The corner pressure from Itachi is actually pretty strong right now. This is really the first time we've seen Child have to deal with the corner mix-ups, not just the Ibuki mix-ups. And that was another really solid round from Itachi once he was able to get control.
Yeah, I called out in the first game that the low-strong buffer into EX Kunai had been blown up a couple of times, but there we saw the spacing finally working out for him, and we're seeing more utilization of the neutral jumps to deal with the dash straight and the V-skill pressure as well from ItachisLegacy. It's going to eventually have to force Child to play a more honest neutral game on the ground.
Oh,
okay,
the no mix-up.
It had been cross-up every time.
Oh no, you just gave him everything right back in. He does still have trigger activation as well. Gets it on the overhead, and Itachi just got too trigger happy with that EXDP.
The risk reward there for the overhead was so in Child's favor, because if it's blocked, you still get the V-trigger activation and you're safe. But like, it's just, you had to be watching for it. Like, it's one of those, it's like a yoga sniper to win the set. Like, of course it's gonna come.
Especially from Child. Child loves his overheads. They're his favorite thing to do in the entire game of Street Fighter V.
Okay, we see the activation on block, little micro shimmy there, and not giving ItachisLegacy a single inch of room. Just burned the whole V-trigger on block, and the overhead again?
The big kunai release leaves nothing, and there's still so much HP to burn through. You saw the animation there actually trying to throw kunais, but there's nothing there. So you're just swinging it air.
And what's even worse is he had full trigger, did ItachisLegacy, but even if you cashed out, if you were looking at a two-touch game, you had the Fuma Shuriken, obviously, from the V-trigger, but you still needed one more kunai for an EX kunai mix somewhere in the middle there, if not two, to cash out another hit into EX kunai into the grab special. So it was just a really rough spot. It was like such a hard read on going for the big kunai release as like an answer to deal with a tick throw.
I mean, in that situation, you only really need the one kunai release too, because it still gets you out of the corner, gets you, you know, the reversal opportunity, and then you still have something in your back pocket to EX kunai through. But all right, gets a down tech there. Doesn't need to. It doesn't get crush countered off of the DP, which is the big concern there.
All right, gets the hit from. Oh no, not close enough for the EX kunai to even hit. That's so unfortunate. Finally, we see a jab check on the overhead and another one of those crouching strong checks that's critical, but still alive. Just has one more kunai. And okay, the slide.
That's
We've seen ItachisLegacy go to slide a couple of times there, but it's like, it's so high risk. Even on hit, if it didn't kill, he still would have probably been at frame
punished.
Disadvantage.
We've already seen him get punished for hitting slide. It happened in game 1, round 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it hasn't been knocking down. Oh my god!
I think Itachi has to be having like some lag issues or controller issues, because the amount of just raw EXDP mid combo that he's just sending into the universe, it is questionable to say the least.
Ooh, finally the neutral jump's working. I'm surprised Child cashed out in that way, because ItachisLegacy was neutral jumping an awful lot, but reversling through everything is Child.
That could have been super cool. If that had worked, it would have been Itachi's highlight play of the set. But Unfortunately, it's just another round going over to Child. Now he is on set point. If he wins this round, he continues on in our bracket, and Itachi goes home.
And this has been really rough. It's like, I feel like Itachi has not once in this set felt as though he was in control. And it's not just the fact that we're seeing like weird overcommitment and a whole lot of DPs. It's that we're also seeing that like Itachi's Legacy isn't punishing Child for his mistakes and in the process is making mistakes of his own. Like that drop is, that's such a typical Ibuki setup. Even the neutral jump not working out to punish the dash straight, instead going in Child's favor, it's just everything is coming up Child.
Does have a slight meter disadvantage, spends a little bit of it, and we're seeing small combos come out from Itachi. He does get the kill though, which is all that matters. But with full V trigger activation and EX bar, that really could have been Child's game if he'd woken up with a different option there.
Yeah, that crouch strong there was critical. It worked out really nicely, and you know, going to it right after the neutral jump where Child has been dash straighting a whole lot there, and Child in general is just like, Child's playing this game at 60 miles an hour minimum. Like you gotta know that he's coming in. Ooh, just gets over the anti-air, not working out.
Oh, gets the counter on the jump as well. Things finally going Itachi's way. Does kind of get grilled in the face a little bit, but trigger's already half gone. No command grab available on this activation.
Oh, that's
still
stun.
alive.
Do we see a reset or do we just see a cash out? Yeah, Boxer not a big reset character in that context. And there we see what I had called out before. It was a take throw read to blow that up, but you're left without the resources to cash out very much.
He just keeps sliding.
Now Itachi's Legacy on set point, trying to bring this all the way back.
Trades going in favor of Child.
Ooh, empty flip into low here for Child, but buffering off that standing short. It's a different Itachi's Legacy here, and principally it's that all of these things that he's doing to try to challenge Child are working. Oh, what a great bait! Now we see activation, stun gone for Child, but Itachi's Legacy still in a position to kill off of the right hit, but gets the overhead.
One more option. One more hit and Itachi
DP?
goes down.
He's scared of DP, and he comes in with the throw. Itachi's Legacy asleep at the wheel, doesn't challenge the dash. And it's set point for both players.
Another good start to the round, though, from Itachi. Punishes the overhead attempt. And we need Itachi to slow down. Keep doing these small little punishes. They get you, 5% here, 10% here, and just play the safe defensive game. Don't let him blow up your spot.
We'll see, and there we see it. It's Child is signaling when Child wants to do the full screen stuff, because like when he's in that mid range, he is trying to play some footsies, but he's scared of the crouch strong. Jump forward, jab, air to air. Okay, and we need to be watching now for the activation from Child. Low forward, there it is.
Tries the overhead, does get punished.
Wow, just manages to steal control back. Does Itachi's Legacy.
I think that was the second time he punished the overhead the entire set.
Yeah, and not for nothing, but we weren't seeing other people doing it. And one of the things is the standing short buffers started working. It's I don't know if maybe there was, like you commented on, like a connection thing. Maybe there was something like that clarified itself in that last game or two there, but it's just something was not there. Like the biggest adjustment to me seems like it's just like Itachi's Legacy was doing a lot of the same stuff. It's just suddenly he was doing it better and it was working. Like more neutral jumps, better selection of where to counter poke, and conditioning in those counter pokes in the way that he was choosing the patterns between like V skill and crouch strong, doing a better job of that, and the standing short buffers to punish dash punches going his favor where they hadn't been so far for the whole set up until that point. All of that ends up culminating to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat for Itachi's Legacy. Diego going home with 4th place and guaranteeing that we don't have to figure out what the hell their plan was if Marvisto and Diego had to play each other in top 8.
Brad, they might still have to play each other.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. Whoops.
I was gonna say, if Diego wins this and Marvisto loses,
Nope. You right. I'm bad. You right. I'm bad.
I was like, wait. But now
I was looking at the bracket, and the bracket had already been updated. So when I looked at where ItachisLegacy was on the bracket, I was like, that's the match he just won.
Correct. So the true storyline now is for ItachisLegacy to smoke Long Island. Like that's the current storyline, because he has to play DiegoV now, and if he's able to win that matchup, he either has to play Flux in losers finals, which is it's problematic in its own right because Flux is just so godlike, or he has to play Marvisto in losers finals, which means he's had to play Moon's Child Diego Marvisto in the last 4 matchups.
Speaking of Marvisto, you mentioned this earlier, where the most interesting thing about Fluxwavez versus Marvisto is they both play multiple characters and the way they try to counterpick each other constantly. So we see the Ryu as a choice, like both of them trying to counterpick the other. Fluxwavez commonly goes to Mika in this matchup, or this player matchup rather. It seems like Fluxwavez usually starts Mika against Marvisto.
That's an unfortunate non-link. I think that should work, and it just didn't for some reason. But so the thing about Flux's Mika is that he's always played it top 3, and I've only seen it lose like twice ever, I think, and it was in the loser side last week that he ended up losing after trying to get through. But yeah, this is the Diego mindset coming out. You're losing the slug game, throw fireballs, and Flux is like, bruh, I invented the fireball game. I'm a Grand Blue player. You think I don't know fireballs? Eat this. And just chucks them.
Fireballs are way more busted in that game.
Yeah. Like, I have to dodge it. I have to roll it. I have to, jump over it, spot dodge.
It's a whole Daft Punk song. Buy it, use it, break it, charge it, melt, upgrade it.
Like, you think I'm scared about Street Fighter fireballs?
Okay? Proletariat was a bad joke. Is Daft Punk more your speed?
I know that one song that was on the radio.
Good enough. Good. I mean, we're gonna go with good enough. Fluxwavez down. I mean, this is what you want to see in a Ryu round, right? Like, it has to be that kind of slow war of attrition.
Oh, he gets crossed up.
Left, right. Ooh,
he's dead.
That's what you want to see in a Mika round. No, this is not the. I do not believe this is the same Flux from Marvel 3. That is a different Flux, if I am not mistaken. Fluxwavez is a different person.
Different. They are different people.
And this comes up very commonly, I think.
Stop eating.
Ooh, the classic tried and true fireball ready with the anti-air. Sometimes you just gotta hit him with the okie doke. Marvisto with a round of his own.
Round start EX fireball to bust through the potential jump in there. Flux though, not perturbed, gonna keep brimstoning fools. Gets the big, meaty, medium chop.
Ooh, I like the patience there from Marvisto. And it's like I was talking about earlier, right? Like, probably the most important part of a fireball game is not throwing fireballs.
He just with command grab beached him. Oh, he misses the link off of the ear.
No.
Kick. And he's dead. Okay.
That's tough. It's such a hard matchup to play. Like, you need to maximize on every opportunity, and you need to, you basically need to be right all the time, because if Mika gets in once, that's it. Like, time to guess asshole. And, that's what we saw in that round. Like, Marvisto had this great round the whole time, and then suddenly Flux got in on one good read, and it's like, oh, cool. It doesn't matter how good you were doing. I'm R.Mika.
Get ready to guess. Although belly flopping onto a fireball is less good for your health.
Well, it's the same as any other air option, right? Like, you bring it out not always because you want to get something out of it. You want to let your opponent know that it's a tool that you're watching for, because now Marvisto is, you know, a little bit more hesitant when he sees Fluxwaves go to the air. Or as I say that, or Marvisto's just better than me. As I say that,
really
3
tough.
correct decisions. Real jump DP, fake jump fireball, real jump DP. Turns out if you're a good enough player, it doesn't, strictly speaking, matter all that much.
Yeah, it was a really tough round for Flux there. Just simply wasn't able to get in. We're seeing him attempt to incorporate the slide that low profiles the fireballs in, but he forgot how to play against fireballs apparently since game 1, because he's just getting absolutely annihilated by these things.
Ooh, checking the dash.
Why did he dash there? He was already. Oh man, Flux, buddy, oh pal, come on.
You know, that was such a clean 2 rounds from Marvisto. Like, we're just seeing, maybe it's a run for Diego's fireball game money. Maybe that's just how they do it in Long Island.
Maybe someone should knock on that door and see who's actually on that stick. That was very reminiscent.
Or
of Diego
maybe it's just that all of these players have been playing fighting games for long enough that that's just something that is a fundamental skill that develops over time. And this is kind of what you're seeing. Like, yeah, fireball games aren't, strictly speaking, all that strong in 5, but if you're a good enough player.
All right. Wake up counters. Yeah, you can see these empty slides. They're attempting to dodge the fireballs because of how prevalent the fireballs have been. You slide every now and then when you think you're going to get fireballed, and so far the fireball hasn't come out on slide attempts.
There we go. I'm so impressed with Marvisto's patience to only DP at the end there. Still dead, but like, I mean, it's like I said, right? Like, you have to, what we're really going to see is either Marvisto's going to have these like near perfect games where he's just right all the time, or he's gonna, you know, make 1 or 2 wrong guesses and just die. Like, that's how this matchup is going to play. And now even seeing, you know, inside of this pocket, Marvisto, even the low forward, getting punished by the drop kick because the drop kick is high profiling.
This mid-screen up. Oh, the first parry coming on out.
So I didn't mention it. In the very first round, we saw Fluxwavez whiffing a couple of drop kicks, and Marvisto rather, went to the parry once. But it's not really come up a whole lot because only until now is it more integral to Flux's game. Ooh, that's tough. And it misses. That's huge for Diego.
I mean, it did its
Marvisto,
job.
I'm gonna keep doing this.
That's punish. Man, this is kind of tough for Flux, because I'm curious if he loses this game, does he swap back to poison? Because this,
I think poison is probably a little difficult, right? Because like the whip has a hurt box, so if Marvisto is able to play outside of the whip range, it just means that you have bigger limbs to hit the fireballs.
He's just,
I don't know if
so hard to get it.
Yeah, Spaceboy is saying in the chat he's gonna lose Ryu versus Poison. I imagine if Flux is like, oh no!
He also has the Manat. But I mean, it's so tough because when the Mika works, it works. But this last like 4 rounds, it simply hasn't worked.
Oh no! The DP misses, and he's gonna die.
Is he? Yeah, okay.
So
all right,
that's
so now,
tough. So like now we're in that really weird spot in the RPS of the character selection, right? Because like that was for the game. Yeah, Spaceboy, I mean, what he's basically calling out is that like when Fluxwavez switches, he gets the round. Like he gets the game in the bad matchup. But if Marvisto was up the set, Marvisto switches to Honda for the set. So what's going to happen now is if Marvisto, god damn it, why are you guys all on the same account? I'm going to keep doing this. If Marvisto wins this one, then Fluxwave switches to Poison, wins the matchup, and Marvisto doesn't get the opportunity to counterpick with Honda. That's kind of that weird character RPS here. So it's really going to come down to is he needs to make the Ryu happen, and that's tough.
He beat the DP with the body slam. All right. All right, this is definitely a much more Fluxwavez timed round. You know, this is very reminiscent of his poison play, where it's very slow and controlled. Another great parry coming out. Oh, he gets smoked. Only needs one
That's
more,
really
and
tough.
good old giant throw. Love to see it. All right,
Yeah,
set
so
point for Flux.
Yeah, might not even have to go to the poison. Might not have to bring out the weird RPS situation here. We're seeing Marvisto being a little bit more aggressive. We saw the double dash there on the fireball trap.
Double dash into EX Peach as well to get full corner control.
What's interesting here is we're seeing Marvisto trying to be the aggressor. Okay, only really trying to be the aggressor so that he can get out of the corner. Double dash into command grab. That's not what you want to see. No follow up off the double jab.
Man, this is what is so tough, is that when it works, it super works. Marvisto is just getting obliterated in this style around, and I really like seeing how Flux has slowed it. He's content eating the chip and jumping over these neutral fireballs. He kind of risked it all on that, but
unblockable fireball. Does he have the damage to cash out to win it? Yes, he does, because he got the bar that he needed for EX Donkey. Marvisto, by the skin of his teeth, takes the round.
All right, so that was Flux getting a little antsy. He had control the entire time, and then he's like, you know what? He's not going to expect the EX Giant Swing. I got this. And turns out he was expecting it, so...
Ooh, the anti-airs there from Fluxwavez. Marvisto's in this tough spot, and that's what we keep seeing. When the second he's in this corner and doesn't have the control, it's really rough for him.
Jumps over the fireball. Tries to dash up afterwards, though. Flux is
I
kind
like
of
his
getting...
utilization of standing short as a check in some of those ranges from Marvisto, I think, is really good. And we're seeing a really active movement here, but Fluxwave's so patient, just wants to see the fireball game so that he can play around the fireball game.
Ooh, trying to bait out the DP. The back throw to take it! Oh no! Rock, paper, scissors!
You win.
2-2, but Fluxwaves can make the character switch, change the matchup on the dime. Marvisto stuck having a win on the Ryu.
Does he do it?
We're going back to the lobby. Spaceboy saying Ryu can fight poison. Yeah, it'll be interesting. You think he stays Mika, Eric? I don't know.
The fact that we're in champ select, character select, makes me think that is not the case. Flux typically doesn't go back to character select for a breather. And that's because he has so many characters to play with. You know, he's got the poison, he's got the Mika, he has the Manat. I think I saw him play something else once before too that I'm just not remembering at this time because it was so long ago. Listen,
Please
Dan,
don't call
I corrected myself, okay? I'm aware.
I called Sparking X Factor once on stream and got roasted, so I'm not going to say you're in good company because at least that was still FGC. I'm not some Riot Games heathen over here moonlighting in MOBAs.
Listen,
we do see the poison switch.
That's kind of what I expected. Because he's going to play at a very different range now. He's still going to be within fireball range, but he's going to be trying to attempt to stuff that fireball with the whip.
And what's going to be interesting too is, like, obviously you can spend the EX bar on hard raid and get the mix up, but you have to deal with the fact that Ryu has a reversal on deck.
That's what you were talking about. The whip
exactly.
Fireballs, kind of tough. But, I mean, yeah, unless you're trading fireballs as Marvisto, you kind of lose that, like, short mid-range.
But even that trade, like all of these trades, it's been such a trade-heavy match, but it's going in Diego's favor. If he trades with an EX bar, he gets the knockdown off the fireball and gets the setup. Like, Fluxwavez doesn't have the opportunity to deal with that.
Ooh. Flux, very, very reliant on that heal drop there. And Marvisto's aware. He's just going to jump punish that every single time.
Yo, did I say Diego again? God damn it. I blame Long Island.
To be fair, Brad's just reading what's in front of him. Out of sight, out of mind, and all that. Nice little.
Ally on the same account. Yeah, Marv is playing like a god right now. And one thing I'm really appreciating is, and it's the same thing that I call out on Diego when he plays, is the dashing in, dashing out. The ability that he has to like always be in a spot where he can dash in and go from one range he's good at to another range that he's good at. But this is going to be the big thing. You see so much damage on tap for poison, tons of resources available.
Great. The dash up grab to punish the V reversal attempt as well. Heart rate just to get a little bit closer. But man, he had trigger activation already? That's crazy.
It's insane, but just like that, we are at true set point. Both players spending the EX Fireball. Fluxwave's going to the air. Those trades not working in his favor, so trying to play around it a little bit more.
One thing about Flux too is he is not afraid to time out. If he gets a good lead, he will play lame. He is not afraid to do that.
One of the things that's tough here for Marv, right, is like the width of the screen wherein he cannot play a fireball game, but he can't effectively poke is really wide because of how dominant Poison is like inside of that like 2/3 screen range. So you need to see like he needs to be like at the tip of low forward range, and if he's not, he needs to be like a whole character length away otherwise. And he's gonna be able to cash out into the super.
He's not
might be dead on the mix though, and now you have to deal with the balls to wake up low forward in that situation. Are you kidding me? But now no resources. You got to do this honest as all hell.
Yeah, just run. Oh, he parries it!
Are you kidding me?
Are you? He's still alive. One more opportunity to win the game. Only needs one more hit. Trigger activation available for Flux.
If you
catches the backdash.
Poison wins.
I know Fluxwave's won that, but if you've ever deserved a W, it was right there.
I'm heartbroken for him.
Oh my god.
That was
and I can tell that the chat has caught up with us because the chat blowing up with that shit. The presence of mind to parry there? You have got to be kidding me.
So we're one step closer to potentially having a Long Island team kill, because our next matchup we're going to see on screen is Itachi versus Diego. The winner having to play Marvisto.
We need to do something on the Casa streams to incorporate webcams because I have no words. I simply have a facial expression, and anything that I offer is just not gonna do justice.
It's so crazy
to what we just witnessed.
It's so crazy that he had, because like the obvious play at that point is super, right? You have full meter, they're on no HP, you know, they don't have a V reversal either, so it's like just super to kill. But the timing, and this might be something that I'm just not aware of. Can you input the parry command during the freeze frame? I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know if you even have time afterwards. I simply don't know the startup frames of the parry. In fact, you know what? I have FAT and I can try to check. I will determine
because there's a difference.
Parry is 3 frame startup, says Space Boy. So I don't know what the startup of Poison Super is. So
3 frame start, 9 frame active.
9 frame active, and then it looks like Poison Super, if I'm reading FAT correctly, is 1 frame before the super flash and then 10 frames of startup after that. So yeah, he could have had the opportunity to do it after the screen freeze.
So that makes it crazy, because there's like 2 different worlds there. Like if he does it pre-screen freeze, it's massive brain because he predicted it. If he does it during the screen freeze, then it's reactive, which is fine. If he does it after screen freeze, it's still reactive, but it's definitely much more impressive. Man, I can't even. It's so wild.
Yeah, man. I don't even care that now that we've looked at the frame data, you can react. But
It's still big brain, right? Like, because you still need to react within 10 frames. Because if
yeah,
it's three
on
startup,
CFN,
yeah, like this is across the internet, folks. They are not sitting next to each other. There is
whatever.
internet
I'm not
involved.
diminishing. I'm not diminishing how hype that was. That went from like checkmate to almost
Almost a
like
like turnaround. He was a pixel off as well.
one more blocked EX fireball, and that was like the set. For like that's how little damage Marvisto needed to be able to win that out.
So spectating has been halted.
Whoa.
Nah, I think just the game bugged.
Yeah.
I think that was just CFN like, you know what? Last match was too good. I need a minute. Let me recover. And he parried super with his life on the line.
Marvisto is becoming one of my favorite players to see in these brackets every week. Like it's just
It's so crazy that he has the
especially
Ryu,
like
too.
when he brings out it's the Ryu, like seeing him bring out the Ryu every time he does it. It's like a rare treat. Like it's like when you go to the liquor store, it's not every time you go to the liquor store that you find the nice, like the really nice whiskey for yourself. Like there's the stuff that you buy when it's like an occasion you want to treat yourself. When Marvisto pulls out the Ryu, like that's how that feels for me. That's like when I see like the Glenlivet 18 or something like that. That's like really nice. And I'm like, you know what? I've earned this.
He wasn't using his usual costume either. I think that might have been the L there. Because normally he plays naked Ryu.
Ah, true. Maybe that's the problem. He was impeded by the shirts. What is happening right now? CFN does not want us to finish out this bracket right now.
CFN.
Okay.
You just had to shame it into existence, Brad. There you go.
Oh.
Man, it really
warming up to
creeps me out.
Marvisto is hold up. Let me defend myself. Warming up to Marvisto is not necessarily like I've always liked him. Like I enjoy seeing him in here. But like he's not the one that I look and I'm like, oh sick, Marvisto's here. Like I know I'm gonna see some great play, but like more and more now, it's like it's more than just great play. Like it's something fucking special. Like you see some sick stuff. No, I know that you're just wrestling, but like you know, sometimes people look at these. So, you know, before Marvisto sees this and he's like, I don't know who this Brad person is, but you know,
It's only
why
been
doesn't he
18
like
weeks. It's
All
really
right, Diego on the
creepy how
account now.
much Ibuki's face protrudes through the mask. It's quite creepy. I don't like it.
She's ahead of the curve, man. She knew COVID was coming. She's got the mask all prepared.
Yeah, but if
she doesn't take it down until you're fucking on your ass on the other side of the room.
Yeah, but if your mask is so skin tight, you can see like each individual lip wrinkle. Like that's a little tight. And it's so weird that she gets punished on slide hit, right? Like we saw it earlier and it's still a thing. Like why?
I think the goal for it is that you're intended to use it like with the B triggers so that like it's that active and it keeps you moving forward so you're able to get more stuff out of that. And then also like I imagine you can get it on like air hits and get stuff like that. I don't play Ibuki myself.
Big punish incoming. Full jump damage. He just does it again. Of course he does. It's Diego.
You can't jump here.
You blocked one DP, but what about two DPs?
We see this so much from ItachisLegacy. We see when he's stuck in the corner, he goes for the big kunai release in the air to blow up the throw. But it's like, I feel like this is one of the things with ItachisLegacy is the defensive decisions ItachisLegacy sometimes makes feels like they're so committal.
She has a good jab too. Just jab out.
Jab, like, I mean, even a DP is like, it's the same read, right? Like, if you're wrong, maybe someone will tell me, are you the massive kunai release in the air on block, are you plus? Like, do you still get a mix up? Because if not, like, if you're gonna get punished anyway, you might as well just DP. At least then, if you get the hit later, I mean, the goal, obviously, of the air release is that you get something after it.
So I don't think you're nearly as punishable as DP. I don't know the exact numbers, but pretty sure you're still safer than just like your raw EX DP on Wake Up, because that has just been absolutely annihilated by Diego time and time again. But for now, Diego's looking like he wants to play his buddy Marv.
This is the number of times tonight that we've seen ItachisLegacy's EX kunais hit, and then the explosion whiff. Ooh, okay. Goes a damage route. No, just a later mix-up, but just like that, out. But the back throw, max range, getting the round. Yeah, what I was going to say is like the EX kunais from ItachisLegacy, the number of times that the blade has hit and the explosion doesn't, so he doesn't get the follow-up, is like, I've never seen it happen this often.
It is really unfortunate that he's getting so much mileage out of this crush counter, though. It's almost making up for the missed explosion. Look at how he already has trigger, Brad. Like, he only lost 20% HP and had trigger available.
It's a 2-bar trigger, man. Ooh,
it doesn't
V
help
trigger.
Some very liberal usage of V skill anyway.
Oh no, the back strong not causing the reset. It has not been working in Itachi's favor tonight. Like, just so much stuff just not going his way that seems like it should. No anti-air on the jump in, and that was a deep jump too.
Yeah, CA available. I wonder if we're gonna see more EX kunai yet this round, or if he's saving it. Doesn't matter. He's not gonna get the opportunity. He will carry it in the next round though, so it gets some work done.
I was gonna say it might have been one of those moments where like you realize you have super available, and you're like, a hit confirm into super will kill. So you just kind of get like a deer in the headlights look, and you're only worried about like, I have to low forward super. Because we saw ItachisLegacy suddenly become much more passive in the neutral in that moment.
Okay.
Oh, damn. Sit your ass down.
Yeah, not today. Checks the command dash there. Doesn't really get too much. Gets loose with it that time though. Target combo into trigger activation.
Diego has blocked every single one of these, and the maximum cash out from ItachisLegacy once again.
Yeah.
Thankfully, though, you have the bar to cash out for a kill anyway.
Just sends that EX Rider right through the fireball, the fiery fireball.
Now, one game apiece, and you know we mentioned it a little bit earlier tonight, but the path to victory tonight for ItachisLegacy includes going through each member of I'm not going to say each member of Long Island, because Urban entered with an LI moniker as well, but each of our traditional members of LI, everybody at Diego's house.
Casa Diego, just trying to claim their
That's
title.
Casa West. Like, until Casa West is West Coast, Casa West is Diego's house. That's as far west as we can go until COVID ends and the airlines reopen.
It's such a big commitment to spend all your kunai when your opponent has half HP. Because now...
And he does it every time. And Diego has blocked every single V-Trigger 2 mix-up from ItachisLegacy.
And it makes life so much harder, right? Like, you can no longer EX kunai through. You actually have to, like, play the neutral game. However, you can also just dash up overhead over a fireball. And I guess you don't have to worry about kunai anymore.
Yo, we're sitting here talking a lot of shit about the player who is currently
winning
up in the set.
Right? But it's just such a different style of play, right? Like, you don't really see too many other Ibukis full commit like that. You know, they are much more protective of their kunais. Or when they do decide to go all in like that, they make it a point to try and at least, you know, recover one. A cross-up finally going Itachi's way.
Or they'll do it, like, in a combo where it's guaranteed and they know that they're going to safely spend the resources. Blowing up the view reversal here is Diego, but you need to be mindful of DP. We've seen ItachisLegacy willing to go to it. We've also seen ItachisLegacy willing to go for burning all the kunai. There's burning all the kunai, and that's a context where it makes sense. You cash out, you get the damage, you know you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah, plus he gets the game with it too. So he is up now 2-1 in this first of 3. He only needs one more, and then he finds himself up against big boy Marvisto once again, actually, right? Like, they already played.
Yeah, I guess what I'm getting at is I would
I
rather
am
see
not.
Itachi's Legacy spend the cash on groceries than lottery tickets. And we see an awful lot of lottery tickets here. Awful presumptive. That was
I mean,
groceries. He needed to feed his family. That's fine. I'm all for that.
the lottery means you could be buying groceries forever.
Right? What's in the mystery box? It could even be a boat.
Exactly. Right now, it's just fireballs. He's not finding the boat, Brad. It's just fire all the way down.
Oh, the double mix-up, but the big brain on Diego. He mashed sweep through the mix-up.
And he won the damage trade too, which means it's just an all-around W for Diego. Guess the air counter, but right back to the corner. It's just tough life for Itachi right now.
Diego is playing so non-committal.
And it's a
Mix.
good stark contrast compared to how committal Itachi is. He's dead. Oh, he DPs it! What is happening, Brad?
Are you kidding me? Is he dead?
He's dead.
Are you absolutely shitting me right now?
Can somebody do a dissertation on that? Actually, High Fight, I'm calling you out. Make one of your highlight videos about that, because that doesn't make any sense in my small brain. Like, it was absurd. How do you DP a man's super like that?
I mean, you have to have the privilege. And Itachi's Legacy, oh no, drops the combo, but manages to overcommits, doesn't get the overhead combo. This is what Diego needs, but look at how much B gauge is already there for Itachi's Legacy. We are gonna see another shuriken.
Big crush on the DP punish.
Oh,
Does have super
shit.
available? That it?
That's
Super
it.
again? That was sick too. Somebody clipped that as well, because that was just super cool. He did a double command dash to get to the other side into super.
Ibuki wins.
Damn, we talked so much shit about Itachi's Legacy during this set.
The whole set's
like,
just
yo,
man, what is this guy doing? Why does he
Why
keep
is he buying
winning?
them? Why is he buying all these lottery tickets? Stop spending all your kunai, dude. And then he DP'd a super. We were like, I've always been a fan of Itachi's Legacy.
I always believed in the kid. I knew it was gonna come all the way through.
God damn. Itachi's Legacy, step 2 complete, has
Why did
climbed
they-
2 steps up the rung of ally corpses and now has to get through Marvisto
Why did they leave? They're both playing our next match.
because they need to go get more beer.
No, but Itachi left too.
Oh, I
Like, they're-
mean,
Both of those accounts were literally our next match because it's Itachi versus Marvisto.
yo, this is... So, to be clear, we have had... That was 2 straight sets that were decided by crazy super
Shenanigans.
at the end in the last round. God damn. Losers finals, Marvisto, and Itachi's Legacy. If you're
Which
worried about Jinx and Diego bunch, just remember,
Diego's already out. He's chilling.
just remember, if you wanted him to win, you should have said, suck that dick. We didn't get the LI Spirit Bomb in the chat, and that's why Diego lost. If
You know what,
y'all were
Brad?
sharing your energy,
It just means all the more dick for Marvisto. That's all that means.
so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we're probably gonna see Marvisto's Honda this time. Probably not gonna pick the Ryu into the Ibuki, is my guess.
Ryu Ibuki? No, I don't believe. I do not believe in that.
Especially gonna be able to like E Honda's damage potential is gonna cash out so much. Ibuki with that, you know, lower health. Although, didn't they buff her health? I'm gonna have to double check. I don't know health values anymore, apparently.
That's fine. Math is fake anyway. But it is gonna be tough for Itachi, I feel. especially if they continue to just spend kunai, because Honda has so many tools to just make you block. Like we have hands that does a billion chip, we have butt slam, we have headbutt, like all of these things force you to block. And as we've seen from Itachi so far tonight, he's really not that willing. He just wants to get out, push buttons, do his game plan, and make you guess his game. But he's playing characters that just exploit that super hard.
Yeah, and one other thing I was gonna say is like we've seen a lot of utilization of standing short buffer in a lot of these ranges, but one of the things Honda does really well is follow up his block strings with like releasing more hands as like the mix, or it's like it's not a real mix up. He's negative after, but he stands in a spot after he's done where like he can cash out damage for blowing you up for trying to take your turn. So you get like that sort of like stagger style RPS that you don't necessarily get all the other time. Cleaning out that round there after cashing out the damage with the V skill headbutt.
So much chip coming out of hands. Another thing that Honda does pretty good is whiff punish too. You know, we've seen, you know, like you said, these stand shorts from Itachi trying to just get anything out. And Honda's kind of fiending for that. He will crush counter you. He'll throw out a big sweeping palm. He is not concerned with you pushing buttons because he is ready, willing, and able to punish them.
Go. You know what else we're ready, willing, and able to do is we're ready, willing, and able to thank Lazanoko for subscribing at the 2 months. Thanks for showing the love. Oh damn, Convicted of Fun just spending the Twitch Prime too. Yo, you guys are showing a lot of love right now. You know, y'all are why we do this. Thanks for showing Dom and the Casa the appreciation, y'all. Oh, autocorrect EX headbutt. Spectating has been halted. I don't know if this is me.
That's
where you. Okay, cool. I can get back in. Oh, it like unlogged me from CFN. I'll be back in a sec.
That's an oof. But no worries. We still got streamer mode going. It is 1-0 Marvisto. And I'm wondering what change we see from Itachi to try and recommit, because he's just trying to do very similar game plans to what we've seen from him all night. It's just that Honda does so much damage that the punishes he's been eating so far tonight are just that much more punishing when compared to, you know, some of the other characters he's played, the Ken, the Ryu, the... Who else did he play? Who was the first one? He just got that kill. I'm lost in thought, and he just took Honda down from like 45% HP and just smoked him. Holy moly. So, Itachi getting the upper hand that time. Spends a little bit of bar. Chases him down, though. Already down
right,
to kunai.
I am already caught back up.
Nice little V skill. Trade. Lots of...
Oh my god. Gets the cross up, but doesn't commit afterwards. It doesn't matter. Going to the air too much. I'm going to answer with the EX headbutt, says Marvisto.
Oh, scoops him. Back throw into trigger activation. Gets the command dash cross up. Alright, he's out of kunai. How do you get in on Honda now? He gets another one. He spends it immediately.
And once again, gets the hit, but doesn't get the explosion afterwards, so doesn't get as much out of it as you would want to see.
That's such a tough range, too, because I feel like that was almost max. I don't see a world where the kunai goes too far there. It's just so baffling to me that keeps happening. I do like the decision there from Itachi, though. The DP the air attempts. Doesn't overcommit once he can. But the rounds that we've seen Itachi win are integral to the V-trigger, right? Like, he needs to get a good activation at some point. He is slightly behind in health.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like a big part of Ibuki in general, really.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember season 1, 2, and everything else when she ran the trigger 1, and it was all about bomb
Honda
mix-ups.
wins.
Yeah, I mean, she's always kind of been, I think at her strongest, she functioned very well as a character independent of V-Trigger, but V-Trigger has always been a huge part of her game. And, you know, there were periods of time in 5 where the meta was kind of dominated by these huge V-Trigger swing characters, and Ibuki was always in that list. I feel like Ibuki right now doesn't have the standalone strength that she used to because they've nerfed how strong she is. And all she really kind of has left, like, she's got a great V skill 1. She has a way to kind of loop block pressure with EX Kunai, but that's a limited resource in a more than just meter, which is unique to her compared to, you know, certain other characters that can cash out bar for more stuff. Speaking of cash out bar, this is looking super tough for Itachi's Legacy, and that round was probably the most dominant round for Marvisto so far tonight. Are we gonna see Itachi's Legacy falter at the peak and not finish the Long Island multi-kill?
Hey, double kills still count for something, but we're seeing some interesting decisions so far.
Oh, that's so tough.
Yeah,
So
the EX
that
headbutt.
third, well, before even that third throw, Itachi's Legacy had the option select available, but Honda's splash hitbox is so good that it blew up Itachi's Legacy's anti-air. And I'm not sure, I mean, the issue is with chip damage, Itachi's Legacy may still get another big kunai, especially on a crush counter here.
He gets the overhead,
that's-
keeps himself alive. Still set point for Marvisto, though, only needs 1 round. And with almost 2 bars a meter, it's not going to be difficult for him to put some big damage on the board right now.
Getting around those kunai. Oh no, gets into the corner on his own, but not getting punished on these headbutts. And once again, the anti-air getting blown up by the splash. That hitbox going so well from Marvisto, cashing out huge damage. And there's the big commitment, went for the lottery. This time it worked.
Problem
But
is
how you
he's
gonna
got
invest that
no
money,
more
huh?
money. He has no money left.
Oh, whiffed on the investment. You bought a
Dead?
tiger, man. You shouldn't have.
Yeah.
You should have bought a local Burger King chain or something. You got to reinvest that money, set up some seed money for the future.
Honda wins.
Something I noticed from Itachi that set is that he was using a lot of raw kunai. So he would do like raw jump kunai or just raw ground kunai, and they'd hit, and they do like 4 damage. And I get that it's part of the kit, like it's there to apply pressure to make sure that they're not just continually blocking, because you might throw out an EX kunai and catch them unawares. But the raw kunai just didn't seem to get a whole lot out of it. He'd use it, it would hit, and Marvisto would be cool with it. He'd just kind of charge up his headbutt a little more and wait for the jump in.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, in that your run has ended, but congratulations on the 3rd place finish for Itachi's Legacy. I think that might be the best showing that Itachi's Legacy has had at one of ours so far. I think I'm gonna have to have somebody verify for me, because obviously accessibly we only really have the winners to look back on, so I would need to look back over the previous Casa brackets. But if someone's doing that, what I would love to know is how many times Marvisto and Flux have played each other in grand finals.
It's a lot. And I think, actually, hold on, I'm gonna take a look. Am I blocking? No, I already went back to the queue. All right, it's Brad that's in the way this time. All right. What am I looking
Yo,
for?
half a bottle of whiskey in right now, Lazanoko. What are you drinking?
I did see that. Marvisto has 2 Casa Street Fighter wins, and Flux has 1, 2.
I think it's also 2. Nobody has 3, I don't think. If I'm not mistaken, nobody has 3 yet.
I definitely thought Flux had 3.
Nah. Fluxwavez is at 2.
Ah, you know, ItachisLegacy actually won week 14, Brad. So we
Oh,
are,
I'm full of shit then.
yeah, fuck you. No, yeah, I mean, both of these members have 2 Ws here at the Casa Street Fighter 5. So whoever wins this will become the first 3-time champ at the Casa Street Fighter online tournament. So there is much more than just this single week on the line. They get to become the front runner of championships here.
And on top of that, like we saw the story coming in after that winners finals, we are seeing the same character matchup here with Marvisto running the Ryu into Fluxwavez Mika. The issue being Fluxwavez has 2 sets to deal with here, but a perfect with Ryu in grand finals on the run back, that's a strong start if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, Marvisto's Swayman. He's got warmed up in that last match against ItachisLegacy. He's now aware of mix-ups. He knows what they are. He knows when to expect them. And Flux is all about the mix-ups. He's waiting for his turn. But we're seeing something very reminiscent of games 1 through 3 of that first set, where Flux tries to play at Marv's speed, right? Like, he's trying to dash through these fireballs. He's trying to jump over them and slide under them. He's not doing what he did in game 4, where he just sits there, doesn't do anything, just waits.
Oh my god, that neutral jump was huge. Sorry to interrupt you. I know you were
you're
ramping up to something, but the spacing on that neutral jump was insane. It only worked as a whiff punish because Fluxwavez does something challenging the drop kick with the crouching strong. Have to get through Nadeshko. What's it gonna be? Spends the bar at the wrong time.
Good old flightless airplane there. There's a wingless airplane. Something airplane.
You know what's all I know is he got clipped.
Yeah, Marvisto is not going out just yet, though.
Once again, the neutral jump spacing, so good. Wingless airplanes to space play, thank you.
Alright, so I was right the first time? Second time? I don't know.
Okay.
No parries yet on the drop kick either, though. I'm curious when those will start coming out again. Parry, obviously, just simply massive piece of the kit.
Slowing it down a little bit more. The drop kick plus framed into the EX command grab in the first game is going to Fluxwavez. After a perfect to open up the set.
That's a little mental breaking. That's tough. But, I mean, Marvisto's not been here before. You know, he's very well acquainted with being down in a set, having to take some guesses to get ahead on top. Still sticking with the Ryu. I think we're going to see like 10 games of Mika Ryu tonight.
I don't get the impression that Marvisto goes for the Honda into Mika. There's the parry on the drop kick.
I think
and what we saw is
too.
Yeah, like, and when it came up the first time they played, that's kind of one of the things that started forcing Fluxwavez to go to the air and bring out jump versus body splash. So I wonder if we're going to see a similar sort of adjustment in the flowchart here.
Didn't get stunned. That's unfortunate for Marvisto.
Oh no, this is all it takes.
Went for the normal throw. Didn't want to get punished too much on a whiff.
Oh, isn't ready to... Okay, standing medium kick. I was going to say wasn't ready for the anti-air on the jump in after he dashed forward in that fireball trap, but still managed to clean out the round. But he got the first round in the last game too. Part of it is like the hit confirm ability of Mika. Like once he's got bar, any errant hit into EX Peach exactly like that. And just like that, you're in. It becomes so much more difficult when meter is on the table.
Gets countered on his anti-air though. So that's a bit of a tough spot to be in. And I think one of the reasons we're going to continue seeing Ryu is for that move right there. It connected that time, but when it is not a connection, it's more in favor of Ryu. That was almost really smart. Almost.
Oh, Tatsuing out, but still has to deal with the mix and gets clipped. One more guess for the game. Guess is wrong. Not the game, sorry, the round, but the second round here. Going to Fluxwavez, caught low, caught him walking back, it looked like. I don't believe it was a counter hit. Nope, watching the playback, it was indeed a counter hit.
I'm curious what Marvisto does if he loses this round, because that'll have been 2 games in a row, finding himself on set point, where he took round 1 and then loses 2 in a row. But because of the Honda matchup being so bad, because I can't think of Honda's answer to dropkick. Like, obviously with Ryu we have the parry. What does Honda have?
Yeah, I don't know. It's really tough. Like, I think it's not the right game plan to play against her. It's, you know, he needs to play a more active game here to challenge Mika more as she tries to get in. And Honda really doesn't get to do that quite the same. Managing to clean it out, though, and gets the game off of a couple of great decisions here in this P1 side corner.
He got counter into crush counter into EX Fireball.
There you go. One game apiece. How far does Fluxwavez take it before Fluxwavez goes for a character pick, though? Fluxwavez has a whole set that he can go down before he needs to make a change. We are not seeing the change now, sticking with the Mika, mirroring what we saw in the winners final so far.
I think this is the right decision. Spend your entire first set on the Mika. If you need to change later, go for it. But for now, you're just chilling. Like you're about to take a fat W here off of that EX Giant swing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, Eric, is like Ryu and Honda are both trying to play defensively, but Ryu is filling the screen with shit that Mika needs to worry about. And Honda kind of isn't. Like, you need to, it's two like war of attrition styles of stuff, and Honda cashes out more when he gets the hits, but he doesn't want to be in the range where he's going for it anyway. At least that's my take, but I don't play the character. Has to deal with Nadeshiko once again. He's not had much luck with Nadeshiko so far in this set, but wake up buttons working out for him. We're seeing a lot of wake up jabs from Marvisto.
Flux was bored. He's like, I am so tired of blocking or jumping fireballs. I'm just going to EX Peach through it. I really can't be bothered. All right. No punish, even with the parry. Get off of me. Gets the brimstone.
Oh, this is tough.
Time to guess. It's one more for the game.
Wake up jab again. Blocks the view reversal. It's anybody's round. Command grabs the low forward and takes the second game for themselves. Fluxwavez up 2-1 over Marvisto.
So you can look at that health bar that's left on Flux, and I will still tell you that was a dominant round because Flux just took control. Like, he was just always on pressure.
What's nuts there too, and like that was so good from Fluxwavez, is Marvisto goes to low forward in against shimmies a couple of times. We even saw, I called out once in winners finals where he woke up with low forward as a read against shimmy. So walking back and command grabbing at that range, brilliant.
I do like Fluxwavez not getting frustrated by the parry. There are a lot of players that would recognize that they are being just hard countered on their approach and try and figure something else out. And then they fall into the fireball trap of, do they jump over the fireball and get DP'd, or do they just hold back forever blocking fireballs? And Fluxwavez is much more of the mind of, I'm just going to keep going forward, and if you forget to do it once, I'm going to eat a third of your HP bar.
Okay, holds up back out of everything. V-trigger gone here for Marvisto, but we still need, it's like a 2 or 3 fireball game. Okay, challenges the dash forward, but doesn't commit to the crouching jabs, and the whiff punish on the slide. Marvisto, another round on the board. I agree with Damn It Dom in the chat. I also want to see more Street Fighter. These two players is so sick.
Oh man, how many back heel kicks is gonna land?
Well, what's smart about it too is like he's in a range where it's advancing him forward. It's a much more active way to try to steal that space once he's inside of the fireball range.
Yeah, it doesn't have to worry about getting parried so much. I'm sure it's a thing, but
Yo, that was 2 degrees of galaxy brain. Fluxwavez stood at a range where his crouching strong anti-air would have beaten Marvisto coming down with a button, but Marvisto reacted and empty jumped his neutral jump so that he wouldn't get blown up. But now we have to deal with it. EXDP dodges the Deshko.
oh, he gets crossed up.
Doesn't matter.
Giant swing.
Nadeshiko, the dodge Nadeshiko, but she wasn't done. Jumping off the top rope. Tournament point for Fluxwavez to be the first 3-time Casa champion. Marvisto's tournament life rests on this to bring it back 2-2. Hit confirm into the EX Peach.
Things looking really rough for Marvisto fans. He gets thrown back into the corner and needs one more mix-up for this. Whew, that could have been it.
This is such like the prototypical Mika round.
Yeah, it's still going. We
Sweeping to activate.
We saw a guard break earlier from Marvisto. No attempt at it this time just yet. Reversals on reversals for Flux. One more guess for the game. One more guess for the game.
That's gonna no Jesus. That will do it though with the standing short, blowing him up once again there. Just an oppressive sequence in the corner, and Fluxwavez from the winner's side becomes the first 3-time Casa champion, beating it out over Marvisto. Damn, do you remember a time when Fluxwavez wasn't winning some of these tournaments? Because I do. I remember when we were saying that Fluxwavez was always the bridesmaid, never a bride.
Well, because he lost to Tega like 5 weeks in a row in Grand Blue, and we were like, this poor guy gets second every single week. But lately, he has just been tearing it up. He's won multiple Grand Blues back in June. He's now on to his third Street Fighter Championship title, the first ever in Casa Online history, and just putting in the work, improving week after week, and really, really putting it to the competition.
Yo, is that true? Has no one ever won this 3 times in a row? Well, not 3 times in a row, but 3 times
I am
ever.
looking over it. Shine was the first 2-time winner and then got dethroned.
Shout out to Shine.
And the other, we've got Prophet with 2 times, Shine with 2 times,
BBW with 2.
BBW Messiah with 2, Fluxwavez up until tonight with 2, Marvisto with 2.
Dang.
I think that's it. I think that's it for the 2s. Even Burkish is not at 2. Prophet's at 2. I think Burkish is still at 1.
Yo, what's been going on these past 18 weeks, man? Whew.
Keep it busy.
This is hot. I'm proud of everybody. Kobe. Man. Yo, shout outs to Fluxwavez. I say, yo, for real, on every level, thank you so much, Fluxwavez. Since like, I don't know, since the beginning, you've been joining our tournaments and showing us love. Always respectful to me and my staff. Very flexible with any type of like new type of deals that we're trying to like figure out as far as like us growing and trying to make the event better. You've always just been helpful. So I love seeing your growth for one. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart that like, you know, you've been an absolute treasure to work with, along with so many other players in this community, including the Long Island crew. Not just the main 3 guys, but Urban, Pat, Gizmo. There's a lot of Long Island cats that come through and you wouldn't even know. Shout outs to Asta who does his own thing on Fridays, and shows us love when his event is over, and always raids us with his people. For real, like before I get all, you know, mushy on everybody, I just wanted to thank the players for real. Yo, like 18 weeks, I'm like looking back and this shit was a blink. Yo, this past like what? We've been doing this since April. These past 4 months have been a blink, and it's been fun. There's been highs, there's been lows, there's been stress, there's been joy, there's been laughter. No tears yet, and I'm gonna keep it that way. But thank you all for real, for real. I love y'all. I'm gonna keep doing this as long as you guys keep showing up. Shout outs to commentary today. Brad, excuse me, ooh, disgusting. Brad, Doc, Team Chris, who else was on there? Dustin, Monkey Business. I think that's everybody, right? Shout outs to Liston. He was having power issues, or he would have been with us today. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Anyway, shout outs to all the commentators. Shout outs to KO. Shout outs to Dom, our streamers. Shout outs to the social team, the Wonder Twins. Shout outs to Plughead, our artist. Shout outs to Dink, wherever you are playing Gundam or some shit. Yo, we got a YouTube now. Check that out. I don't have the link. I'm not smart either. We have a Patreon. All proceeds go to the staff, not to me. I will for a very long time take a net loss to anything that has anything to do with Casa, so long as I can't physically out of my own pocket pay these people. So do not pay me, pay these people. Continue to sub to Dom, continue to sub to KO. Continue to watch these commentators do their thing outside of Casa events. Follow them on Twitter. If they're doing something cool, check them out. They do a lot of cool stuff outside of Casa. Yeah. I think I'm out of shout outs. So I'm gonna go now. It's 12:30. I love you guys. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, I'm gonna let people go too. We could sit here and say long goodbyes, but it's late as hell, so I'm just gonna say thanks, Doc, for commentating with me. Thanks, Dom, for streaming it. And thanks all of y'all that have been hanging around and watching. And good night, everybody.
I think that'll just about do it for us here at the Council, folks. Shout outs to week 18. Such a long time of Street Fighter and Grand Blue Versus. And we do have so much more on the horizon, guys. Keep an eye on that Casa Bunch Twitter. We do have some very exciting developments in the upcoming future. So stay tuned and keep an eye out, and you will be well aware of what we're going to be bringing to you very soon. But that does it for us here tonight. I'm going to shout out to Dom and leave it up to him to close out the stream, and I will catch you guys next week.
And hello. No, I'm just kidding. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate all the new followers, all the subs. Shout outs to Fluxwavez for being the 3-time champion. Appreciate your play. Always love watching you. Always love watching your Mika. Sometimes, but yeah. Again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys are all the real MVPs. If you were feeling the stream tonight, please be sure to give the stream a follow. I greatly appreciate it. Shout outs to all the commentators. Shout out to Bunch for even giving me the opportunity to even make this happen. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. And let's see, who else is streaming actually? Okay. Alright. I'll catch you guys in the next stream. I should be streaming sometime this week. I might be playing some Street Fighter 4. I'm not sure yet. You can follow me on my Twitter at dammit_dom_. And yeah. That about wraps it up for me. I'm tired. I'm gonna go get me some sleep. I got a long day ahead of me tomorrow, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alrighty. Peace.